Oh, welcome everybody to WagerTalk Today. I am Lawrence Presman, that guy right over there. He's Teddy Covers, and you're watching the best daily all sports betting show on the planet. Teddy Covers, we got a jam-packed show. Tell us who's on. What are we going to be talking about?
We sure do, in a loaded Friday edition of Wager Talk Today. We're going to lead off with Ralph Michaels. He's got a chart. He's going to talk about first 5 innings in MLB. He's also going to talk about the Lakers and the Warriors in NBA Game 6 action tonight, and the Nationals and the Mets in MLB action. Andy Lang is going to join us next. He's going to give us a Bellator play. So we'll talk a little UFC with Andy Komadoff and Barnway. We're going to talk some NHL. We're going to talk Edmonton Oiler team total. And we'll talk a little Goodyear 400. He's going to talk about Joey Logano in that matchup. And Pavlos is going to join us. Pavlos Laguretos with just
nicely done.
WagerTalk.com. He's going to talk some La Liga, Real Madrid versus Getafe, and some EPL, Leicester versus Liverpool. We also have a BS question for betting strategy and what bettors learned. I'm going to talk about the NFL schedule release. And oh, by the way, we've got lines for every game for the entire NFL season. Yes, it is a loaded Friday edition, Prez. Let's get right into it. Congrats on your 5-star last night.
Yeah, dude, my 5-star was on Carolina. Had a little bit of a sweat, down 1-0, down 2-1. Got it done in overtime, but hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. And I know you love when it's blowouts, and I do too. But with hindsight, I prefer there's drama. But at the moment, I want a blowout. Just want to welcome everybody into the chat room. Jamie Gonzalez watching live for the first time. Welcome, man. Awesome. David Gary, he says Prez is the best. Smart frickin' guy. Stephen Bowman, Prez is the man. Another genius. Really, we got a high IQ chat room today, that's for sure. Prez, do you think Carolina was the right side? Yes, I do. I think Carolina was the right side. They won the game. They outshot. They dominated play most of the game. Yeah, I feel like they were the right side. My bank account says they were. Ralph Michaels joining us, everyone. Ralph, how you doing, brother?
Any minute except for the final score, and that's what the Hurricanes did. I was on them last night as well, so congrats on your 5%.
Well, do you think it was the right play? I mean, I watched the game start to finish. I felt that, look, Timo Meier missed a empty net that would have been a goal 9 out of 10 times, but so did Carolina. Early in the first period, Carolina missed 3 open nets, so I felt it was the right play. Did you watch the game? Did you enjoy your win?
I've said this on numerous shows. Despite being on an incredible NHL run, I'm 93% on 4% plays. I just look for situations. I don't know players. I don't know lines. But I'll tell you what, when you're a Rangers team and in 5 of your last 6 games, you had to pull a goalie, you have no confidence in whoever's in the net. The way Carolina was playing at home, I just thought they were the better side at a very fair price at minus 125. So did I have the right side? Yes, it won. Breaking down a game in depth with you, Carm, or McGinnis, never going to happen.
Ralph Michaels, everyone. Ralph Benjamin Rash says you're the GOAT. So congratulations on that. Listen, when someone else that isn't your blood thinks you're the GOAT, even if it's just one other person, I think it's still an accomplishment. Ralph Michaels, you got a chart for us? I hand the mic to you, my brother.
Well, guys, we know that first inning yes-nos have become popular. The way the bullpens are playing, the first 5 inning plays have become so much more popular. So I just wanted to give some perspective. Were there some teams that were better to play the first 5, or at least up to this point in the season have played better the first 5? Or there's some teams that not play the first 5? So we're going to see the chart, and let me explain the chart as they post it. And as I do with all these charts, I will post it on Twitter. There's a lot of data here for you to go through. You see the team name in the middle. To the left-hand side are the year-to-date results. So you see the profit, the average line, and the record. To the right, with the brown heading, you see how many teams have had a lead in the first 5 innings, how many have pushed the first 5 innings, and how many have lost the first 5 innings.
Hello?
Sorry, guys,
Oh.
I had to refresh there. So again, I don't know where I cut off.
That was weird.
Are
Yeah.
the records. The brown in the middle are the first 5. How many times you've won, how many times you pushed, how many times you lost. And on the right is the difference. So let's use the top team and the bottom team for examples. The Oakland A's on the season, if you look to the left of the team name, they are 8-31. In the first 5 innings, Oakland has actually won 9 times and pushed 7 times. So if you bet Oakland full game, you're 8-31. If you bet Oakland for the first 5 innings, you are 9-23, an increase of 7.5%. That's a massive difference. Now, I'm not even adding in if you took the plus 5s. So Oakland's been a dog in almost every game. Look at those 7 pushes in the first 5 innings. If you took the A's plus a half a run, you would have 16 wins in the first 5 innings compared to 8. Now let's look at the bottom 2 teams. The Red Sox this year are 22-16 full game. If you bet the Red Sox in the first 5 innings, you are 13, 20, and 5. 39%. You're minus 18.9 units. So the win chart shows you how many more or fewer wins you've had. The wins and pushes shows you the difference between those two. You see the Red Sox have pushed 5 games, so wins and pushes are 18 together. So look at the teams on the bottom of the chart. The Dodgers, the Twins, the Orioles, and the Red Sox. Those teams are all at least 6 games under what they are for the full season. So if you're going to play some of those teams, even though some of them have decent bullpens, first fives have not been beneficial for those teams. And those teams on the top with the greens, those are teams that have performed much better in the first 5 than season to date.
So, Ralph, I want to ask you, based on your experience, how predictive is this moving forward? Is this something that's a nice snapshot of what we've just seen, but it's not necessarily going to carry over to what we're going to see for the next 30, 40 day games in MLB? Or is this the kind of scenario where you find something early and you can ride these type of trends all year long? Is it predictive, or is this just a snapshot of what we've seen?
Well, you look at the A's, and we all know the A's have one of the worst records, and baseball teams don't win 20% of the games out a year. Normally the worst teams are playing 30%. But I will say this, there is a caveat with the A's, because at home, I mean, those people don't want to be playing in front of fans that are wearing bags over their heads, and they know they're going to be moving to Las Vegas. So here's what I do, Teddy. When we get to now, once I get to May, I start doing 10 and 20 game segments of this same chart every week. And I do post it on Twitter. So predictive, I am not going to use 37 games into a season and say what's happened 6 weeks ago is predictive. But I do the same information on Twitter once a week with a shorter sample size, which is something you need to keep an eye on.
Ralph Michaels joining us, everyone. Ralph, outstanding stuff. Great chart. Listen, Jeff Michaels came on this week, and he had a chart. Is there anything you'd like us to do about that? Should we ban him from pretending to be you?
No, the funny thing is, when I'm going to talk about the Lakers, I'm going to talk about my son, because he sends me his plays each day, and I'm actually stealing 2 things in his write-up talking about the Lakers coming up. So I just think it makes up for all the booze he stole out of my liquor cabinet in high school, that I'm going to steal some of his data now, because it is Wager Talk Today worthy.
It's funny. I don't drink a lot of alcohol, almost none. And I grew up in a family that doesn't drink a lot of alcohol. We're a chocolate family. And when I grew up, I kid you not, my parents locked the chocolate behind, like in a cupboard that had a lock, and then they would hide the key. That was Saturday night in my household. Me and my two brothers spending 3 hours trying to find the key to what we called the candy cupboard.
Hey, Prez,
LA,
if you were,
yeah.
let me ask you a question. If you were bad, did they put the chocolate in a glass cabinet with a key so you could see it?
Oh yeah, that's funny. And firstly, there is no if I was bad. I lived bad. I felt bad for my parents. My dad so badly wanted me to have a kid that would give me grief. But alas, that didn't happen. But he was like, "Oh God, I need you to see what you put me through." Well, Dad, too bad. Anyway, Ralph, LA Lakers close out tonight. -2.5 against the Golden State Warriors. The line has been bet down total wise. It's now at 220. Man, how do we bet this game? What's up with the
Well, I'm on the
eyebrow?
Lakers. I'm on the Lakers as a client play. Number one, let's look at the Lakers off a loss. In the playoffs, they're a perfect 3-0. They've covered by 23 points per game. Let's look at the end of the regular season when they were playing with all their pieces parts. They won 11 of their last 12 games off a straight up loss. You look at the Warriors, they have top 50% only twice on the road, top 48% only once in the playoffs on the road. That was at Sacramento when they were 52% in game 5. On the season, Golden State 3-20 straight up as an away dog, a situation that I'm clearly happy to fade. You also look at Golden State, the last 4 games, 15 turnovers, 19 turnovers, 16 turnovers, and 14 turnovers. The Lakers averaged under 12 turnovers in that same span. And the two pieces I stole from my son's write-up today on the LA Lakers. When LeBron is at home with 3 wins in a playoff series, he is 17-1 straight up, winning by 15 points per game. He is 13-1 straight up when you factor it in as a single-digit favorite, and he's 7-0 straight up when he has 3 wins coming off a loss, winning those games by 18 points per game. And let's look at a league-wide trend. This goes all the way back since 2006. This may sound like a lot of parameters, but when you break it down, it's really not. When a team has 3 losses in the playoffs, it is not game 7. They won their last game, and they are a favorite or a dog to +8. So the only thing we're excluding line-wise are big dogs of 9 or more that tend to hang around the number and cover the game, even though they are getting knocked out of the playoffs. Those teams, Teddy and Prez, 4-24 straight up, 7-20 against the spread, and guess what? In the last 4 years, a perfect 0-10. So teams with 3 losses that had to battle an elimination game off a win, now traveling, now playing again as a favorite or small dog, 10 straight losses and 4-24 straight up in that situation.
I guess my question would be, how many of those teams were the defending champs and multiple times? Because it feels like Golden State's different from your average team that is facing has lost 3 games. We saw the Warriors facing a deficit in the series against the Kings, and obviously they rallied back to win that game. We've seen Golden State, for all of their struggles on the road in the regular season, all of a sudden, the last 4 road games here in the postseason, Warriors have won 2. They probably should have won the third. They ended up losing by 3 points, which would be a push on tonight's spread. Is Golden State the type of team that fits neatly into these systems that have worked well over the years? Do you differentiate for a defending champ, for a team that has heart?
Yes and no, Teddy. When you look at historical data, you don't say, okay, I'm not going to use this team because of the situation. I'm not going to use this team. It's historical data. But I will also say this. Golden State is 3-20 as an away dog. That's playoffs. That's straight up. That's in all situations. Plus, let's forget, you're playing the Sacramento team that made the playoffs for the first time since I had hair. You're not playing LeBron James and Anthony Davis, two players that are experienced playoff vets. You can't. I'm going to say this. You want to talk Golden State played well on the road. I'm going to say, was a team like Sacramento ever included in those other situations? Likely not.
Yeah, Ralph Michaels joining us. And Ralph, Teddy, put betting aside for a sec because, here we've got two, just iconic players playing against each other. Who do you want to win? You want to see the Lakers go on, Teddy?
I've got a bet on the game. That's all. I'm interested in cashing my bet.
There you go.
I am
Fair
not
enough.
a fan. I'm not a fan of any player, any team, nothing anymore. I'm a complete Blackheart. There's not one team or player that I'm rooting for. I could care less. F them all. Ralph?
Prez, I will tell you this, Prez. The Vegas bookmakers are absolutely praying Golden State wins. Their biggest liability is the Lakers. There's so many Lakers fans here in Las Vegas.
Yep.
The books have absolutely gotten pounded on futures. So I can tell you this, no matter what we care about, the Vegas sports books absolutely are praying the Lakers do not win the NBA championship.
Yeah, no, Art was on Wednesday's show, and he said exactly the same thing, Ralph. Let's turn our attention to baseball. Mackenzie Gore playing against a Hall of Fame pitcher in Terrence Boyd Drummond on the mound for the New York Mets. Terrence Boyd Drummond, TBD, against Mackenzie Gore. How do we bet this game?
Well, if Dan's around and he could throw up one more chart, this is just a quick chart, guys. There's not much to it. But I do want to just show you the value of teams playing well against value of teams playing poorly. Take a look. This is since April 21st. The number one most profitable team in baseball is the Washington Nationals, plus 10.4 units. The absolute worst team in baseball since April 21st, the New York Mets, who are 5-13, minus 15.6 units. Why are the Mets a favorite? Just because of name recognition and last year's results. We're getting so much value playing the hottest team against the coldest. Thanks, Dan, for that chart. Let me break down some other things. It's likely going to be McGill for the Mets, but I have no problems fading him anyway. Again, Mets 5-13 since April 21st. As an away favorite, the New York Mets are 1-6 their last 7. That's an average line of minus 164. So they're down almost 9 units. You look at the Mets against lefties, 5 straight losses. They're averaging 1.6 runs per game, 5.4 hits per game. Mets have scored 2 or fewer runs in 6 of their last 8 games. And you look at the Washington Nationals, they have 5 straight games with double-digit hits. I went to the database to see how many times that happens. It's happened 39 times over 4 years. So about 10 times a year, a team like the Nationals get double-digit hits in 5 straight games. If McGill goes, he's got a 5.79 road ERA and a 1.857 whip. He's allowed 3 or more runs in each of his last 4 starts, and he's given up 11 walks with only 14 Ks. Gore 7 starts. He'll get you to the 6th inning. So I do like Washington in this game. I'm going to use them first 5. I'm going to take the bullpens out of play. I think the Mets bullpen is a little bit better. But Washington starters have gone 6+ innings each of the last 3 games as well. So I'm going to grab the value, and I think that the wrong team is favored in this game.
Do you worry at all about, Marco comes on a lot and talks about the spots. And here's a spot where Washington's just been out on the West Coast. They had a great West Coast trip. They're feeling good about themselves. Do you worry about the Nats coming home, flying back east, and being flat in this instance? It doesn't look like the markets are too worried about it. All the sharp money coming for Washington this morning.
I've pulled that up, and I've looked at when teams return from win streaks at home and rest and no rest situations, and there's been nothing dynamic that says to me, this is a fade or a flat situation. I think the Mets are in a situation where they're saying, oh, we got to get this turned around. Well, that to me is not like, okay, every team says that when they're on a bad run. If you have a team meeting or if something else occurs, then just quote saying, oh, we need to turn this around. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to take the hot team against the cold team at incredible value. and play them in that situation.
Ralph Michaels, outstanding segment, my friend. What do you got to promote?
Great time. I have 3-4% today. That's a rarity for me. And remember, any capper at WagerTalk, you go to their page, there's a 7-Eleven special. We all know that a 7-day all access is $99. But when you click the 7-Eleven special, you're getting 11 days for that same $99. That is getting an extra 56% free days added on to the normal 7-day. And for those that love $9 Monday, imagine that. You're getting 11 straight days of $9 Mondays with that $99 price.
Awesome stuff, Ralph. Thanks for joining us, man. Great work. Teddy Covers. What did we learn in the wonderful world of sports betting?
So NFL schedule came out yesterday. I've got a ton of thoughts. I'm going to give you a brief snippet right here. We will be doing an opening line report on Monday, myself and Drew Martin, right here on WagerTalk TV, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And Drew and I are going to break down everything from the NFL strength of schedule release, the week 1 lines. We got lines all the way through week 17 at a handful of books. One thing is worth noting, all right? I saw headlines already this morning, all right? Big line moves for week 1. Please, for the love of God, don't be fooled by any of the clickbait nonsense. There weren't any big line moves, all right? If one book posts -3 and another book posts pick 'em and it lands -1.5, that's not a line move. That's arbitrage. We saw that with the Bills Jets Monday Night Football for week 1. So, and then I saw multiple articles, big line move. And they quote one sportsbook director. We're looking at the markets, talking about some things that stand out from a schedule standpoint in the NFL. Easiest schedules, again, please, for the love of God, do not use the mainstream data that's going to give you strength of schedule based on last year's records. The appropriate way to look at strength of schedules is to use this year's season over-under win totals. That gives you a much better assessment of how good a team is supposed to be this year, as opposed to looking back, oh, so-and-so did whatever last year. 5 easiest schedules based on this year's win totals: Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Colts, Bears.
Oh, my.
The win total for the Saints and the Falcons, both of those have stood out to a lot of people. How the heck are the Saints lined at 9.5 game wins? Look at their schedule. It's as easy as you'll ever see. 5 hardest schedules: Dolphins, Raiders, Chiefs, Bills, Patriots. That's bad news for the Raiders and Patriots, neither of whom is particularly good. Again, these are based on this year's win total. Primetime games, that's something that I pay attention to. The league has a vested interest in making the teams that have a lot of primetime games, they need them to be competitive. At the top, Chiefs, Chargers, Bills, Cowboys, then Jets, Packers, Vikings, Raiders, Eagles, 49ers. At the bottom, teams with 1 or none. League doesn't care if Washington's any good this year, or Houston, or Atlanta, or Arizona, or Indy. I could go on and on. I got so many notes here. I don't know where to
Please
stop.
don't. Please
Teams
stop.
coming off bye weeks. Just stop. Teams
Just
coming off bye weeks, stay for Monday. Make sure to check out the opening line report Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 Eastern. Lawrence?
yeah, I mean, dude, I don't mean to stop you, but it's like you're talking passion now. I feel like you could have just gone on for 2 hours. When is the opening line report where you're going to discuss this stuff deeply?
Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, directly following Wager Talk Today.
Teddy Covers. So before we bring in Andy, and he's wearing a red shirt, which is unheard of. I mean, Andy in a red shirt? Come on. So we both woke up today to a text from Tony Finn, a Slack from Tony Finn. Tony Finn was supposed to be on the show now. I read his Slack 6 times, and I still didn't know if he was making the show or he wasn't making the show. I'd love to read the Slack on air. I won't, but long story short, Tony had to go back to Kansas City and couldn't make the show. That's literally one sentence. He wrote this much, and at no point did I even understand any of it. Like, in all seriousness, did you understand Tony Finn's Slack message this morning?
So I
On the
speak
first
Finn,
read.
unfortunately.
Oh, you do speak Finn.
No, yeah. I speak Finn, so I can understand what he is saying. All that said, it's no different from his appearances. It's no different from his write-ups. You know, I mean, that's Tony Finn. Tony Finn, he knows that he knows more. He knows as much about sports betting as anyone on this planet. But his ability to express that information is sometimes a little bit convoluted, which makes him the character that he is. We love Tony Finn.
I mean, let's pull this thing up. Where is this beauty? This thing of beauty.
We have 19 minutes and 2 guests, and a presidential address if we have one.
Dude, I have more than 19 minutes if I want. No one's in a rush. Andy Lang joining us. Andy, did you understand whether Tony was going to make the show today or not?
I'm in like volume 3 of Rosetta Stone, Tony Finn. So I'm not all the way to Teddy's level, but I'm not a beginner.
Right.
So I could, let's just say I had some plays ready in case he wasn't able to make it. So I could kind of read the tea leaves of it. But yeah, I have some messages in our personal Slack channels that are just absolute doozies. They need like a code. It's really funny.
I'm trying to find this. Where is this Tony Finn thing?
But
I'll
Teddy,
send it to you, Lawrence. Meanwhile, you start with Lang.
Yeah, sorry, Andy.
I got to tell you, Teddy, you are correct that the messages really aren't that much different from when he appears on shows. And 2, I will be the first one waiting for the opening line report. Teddy, watching you discuss like futures for football and schedules and everything for me, it's must watch. You do such a fantastic job. I literally put it on the schedule to watch your stuff.
Andy Lang, you know how cool I think you are. We have the coolest freaking man waiting in the wings to come up after you. Pavlos,
awesome.
Just stay patient, brother. We will get to you, I promise. And he wears Speedos. And today, if we are lucky, we might get a Speedo. So here is Tony Finn's masterpiece. Good morning. I was called to fly back to Casey earlier in this week. So So I scheduled a trip for Thursday night. We who scheduled were delayed overnight. We were supposed to land this morning at 8 Central, but we're delayed again, have landed, but I thought it best and responsible to alert you to my pair of scheduled programs. I believed I scheduled my trip around my responsibility. Wilbur Wright and other brother didn't have internet on this morning's flight. This offers an hour and a half to replace me, fire me, shoot me without me, shoot me, or issue a directive to hustle my ass to Kansas City. My regrets, my schedule failed. What the hell was that?
There was a Wilbur and Orville Wright reference in there.
Yeah. Well, no, only Wilbur and the other one. He didn't have Orville down. Yeah. Orville didn't pop in the head at the time. But yeah, issue a directive, Prez. That's what he told you to do. Do it.
Okay. Whew. Andy Lang, let's get into some actionable information, brother. We have a Bellator fight this afternoon. You've got a pick for us on it. What is it?
Yeah, you should be able to get this in and get it in quick because Bellator has already started. So the first fight in this parlay starts pretty soon. And this is a client play. So we're going to take Khamidov over Petchy. Khamidov is undefeated right now, and he probably is going to be undefeated after this fight. He is absolutely relentless on offense. He comes from kind of this Dagestani training where a lot of wrestling. His goal is to try and get the fight on the ground. But he won his last fight with a vicious liver shot, so he's shown his striking is good. Listen, Petchy hasn't fought very good competition. He's fought in really low-level leagues. I don't see him having the defense to keep this on the feet, even if it does stay on the feet. I'm not really sure he has the offense to score any points. So I think Kamidov gets this on the ground and dominates. Maybe gets the finish, but probably by victory. But look for this to be pretty lopsided. And then on the main card, we're going to take Bernoulli over Brent Primus. Bernoulli took a few years off. He came back last fight and he gets the submission against Piccolotti. It was a nice fight, kind of knocked the rust off. I think it's a nice setup fight for him. He gets Primus, who is past his Primus, 38 years old. He's lost 2 out of his last 3 fights. He got knocked out last fight. And in his last fight, his striking was okay to start, but then you could see him really start to wear down. His cardio wasn't all there, and this is a 5-round fight. Bernoulli is bigger than him. If you saw weigh-ins, it was kind of startling how much taller Bernoulli is. So Bernoulli's going to get him on the ground. He can work his submission game. 6 of his last 7 wins have come by the rear naked choke. So don't be surprised if this one is quick. It doesn't go all 5 rounds, but I think Bernoulli wears down Primus on the ground. Bernoulli, with the big size advantage, once he gets it on the ground, going to be very, very tough for Primus to get up. And if he does, it's going to take a lot of energy. So this is a parlay, Kamidov with Bernoulli, both to win in Bellator.
Parlay the 2 favorites. Bellator action today on Friday. Don't sleep on this one. And if anyone's throwing vicious liver shots, well, maybe Tony Finn coming off the plane, although he was on the plane all night. We'll give him credit. Or give maybe put an asterisk by the nonsense. Because if I'm flying a red eye, I'm not 100% when I get out of the plane either. Let's talk some NHL for tonight. The Vegas Golden Knight, the Edmonton Oilers. I'm seeing Edmonton road chalk here in Vegas, -140. Total between 6.5 juice to the over and 7 juice to the under. You like a team total in this one? Talk about it, Mr. Lang.
Yeah, Prez. You kind of know where I'm going with this one, and this is a square play, but it's been hitting. Props for the prop god. Oilers team total over 3.5. 6 out of 7 games they've gone over. When they went in Vegas to start the series, they scored 4. They scored 5 the first 2 games of this series. They're coming back to Vegas. They had one clunker game where they just completely fell apart, but these guys, McDavid and Draisaitl, you can't keep these guys down. I don't think Vegas is going to hold them down tonight. I mean, I know Andrew McGinnis cashed a 5% play, taking them over 3.5. They hit in the first period in one of these games. This team is too explosive to hold down. Just take them over 3.5 for the game. If you're a little bit worried about that, you could take them over 2.5 on the team total. And then you could parlay that with Toronto over 1.5 goals in their game, or even Florida. I think that's a score fest too. But for me, Oilers team total over 3.5. Keep it simple.
Yeah, and listen, I'm with you, Andy. It makes total sense. Joey Logano, good year 400 at Darlington this weekend. What do we do with this Joey Logano guy?
I have to bring it up. It's my favorite. This Joey Logano guy is only a champion and future Hall of Famer.
Only never heard of the guy in my life.
He cracks me up because he celebrated his championship by getting hair plugs. that was how he
he's the
celebrated.
Best left-turning guy on the planet. I mean, his ability to turn left is sensational.
He should do well turning left at Darlington. I had to bring this up. It's my favorite track on the NASCAR circuit. The legendary story is they built half the track decades ago, and then the guy who owned the property said, you can't build the rest of the track because it's going to run into my minnow pond. So they built the rest of the track completely different than the other half. The minnow pond is still there. It's a hilarious track because it literally is 2 different tracks on the opposite side. It's a tough track to navigate, but it's my favorite of the year. Joey Logano, top 10 over the last 4 races at Darlington. He's got the best average finish at this track in all of NASCAR. He averages 6.5 finish. He's been inconsistent this year, but you look at his bad finishes. They were at some restrictor plate races and a road course. He was great last week at Kansas. He was good at Richmond and Martinsville. I know I'm nerding out completely here on NASCAR, but take Joey Logano, little sprinkle, 1%, 2% to finish top 10 at Darlington this week.
Awesome stuff. Andy, what do you got to promote?
Every Friday, we're going to run the same promo code, Andy3, ANDY3. It gets you a 3-day pass for $39. The weekends are where we do most of our damage. We were plus 5.7 units last weekend when we ran this promo. We've got a 5% UFC play tomorrow. We've got a big lacrosse play that goes off on Sunday. So just use the promo code Andy3. It gets you 3 days for $39 and includes the 5% play, as well as our NBA, MLB, Bellator, all of that. We were plus 5 units yesterday and this morning. So we're running good. Use the promo code and you'll get all of our plays for the weekend.
Awesome stuff, Andy. Thank you for joining us. Very little notice. Andy Lang, everybody. Teddy, we got to go straight to the BS segment, betting strategy with Teddy and the Prez. Daniel, where's our beautiful porno music? Here we go, guys. Okay, so listen up, everybody. We need you to ask us questions in the comment section of our videos. So please, when our videos go up, put some questions in. We do have a question about NFL football. We'll get to it next week. But Teddy, let's go through this one because this is probably one of the most common questions I ever get. I'll ask it and I'll answer it. And if you want to add anything, go ahead. This is from Nuclear Missile Whale Play. Oh, wow. A question for the BS segment. Say I'm rolling with 2 cappers and they both release the same play. Do I double down on that play and treat each capper as a separate investment? Conversely, if they release the opposite sides of the same game, do I just lay off the game, period? Listen, this is a real easy one to answer, and it is a question we get all the time. We get it to customer service, and I get it myself. The answer on the first part of the question, do you double down on a play, is absolutely not. The bottom line here is these guys, you know, if you look at handicappers and you take somebody like Ralph and Marco, they are very similar style handicappers. It is likely that they have come up with the same reason to play that particular game. If you look at somebody like Teddy and a Marco, they're very different style handicappers. They might have different reasons to play the game, but ultimately it's just one game. Don't double your bet. Keep it exactly the same way. The fact that 10 people like the same play doesn't make it any more or less likely that it will win. So please do not double down on a bet in regards to these guys being on opposite plays, and it does happen. Lay off the bet. It's that simple. Teddy, anything to add?
So the only thing that I would disagree with in the slightest in that is that if you have 2 guys that are on opposite sides of a game, you can roll with the guy who's hot.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm okay
and if they're
with
both
that.
hot, then you lay off. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Other than that, you said it just fine. Yeah. You don't want to turn a standard unit play into a bigger than a 5% play, which you do. You know, 2 guys have 3% on it, then you're risking 6% on that. You don't want to do that for a standard play, even if multiple guys like it. So count it as a single bet, not a double. And when 2 guys are on opposites, go with the hotter or leave it alone. Or that's, not always easy to do. But in general, Prez, I agree 100% with what you said.
Teddy, I don't think anyone wants a daily presidential address, so we have more time with Pavlos. We only have 65 likes, 300 people watching, so be it. We'll move on, but guys, please hit that subscribe button. Please do hit that like button and make sure to comment after the videos go live. Pavlos, dude, it's been a long time. I have missed you, man. You are as cool a cat as they've ever been. And now, you know how long it's been? You did not have any gray in your beard last time we were together on a video. How are you, man?
Doing great. Super excited to be here, guys, in WagerTalk in general, but in WagerTalk today as well. I want to give you guys, a couple of free plays and tell you what I have loaded at the site because I'm running really hot right now, and you guys should take advantage of it. Whoever's listening, whether you're a novice bettor or a seasoned bettor, I have some really nice stuff to talk to you about, and some really nice plays also loaded at the site.
Yeah, so before we get into your plays, firstly, your hair looks spectacular. I just want to lay that out
Thank you.
there. Your beard is unbelievable. Okay, what sports are you best at? What do you handicap? What are the customers at WagerTalk now that we've moved over to us? What should they expect from you?
Okay, so most of my plays are soccer plays. I do double a little bit in NBA, mostly props. I don't like sides. I don't like totals in the NBA. I just focus on soccer and some NBA props because I dig those props, man. I
They dig you,
I bet
dude.
on fantasy. Yeah, so it's really I don't release a lot of plays. I think I've done like 4 or 5 plays in the NBA season, but most of my workload goes to soccer. So usually it's sides and totals, but from time to time, and today I do have a same game parlay. So this might seem frightening to somebody that doesn't really often bet on soccer, but it's available everywhere. All the big sports books, they offer same game parlays now, and it's a very good way to to dribble yourself around a very tough match. You can pick a side and a total, even though if the side is minus 250, the total is minus 250. But if you pair them together, the price is plus 120 or something. So same game parlays are the way to go, and it's one of my favorite ways to bet on soccer. But it's not just that; it's totals, it's sides, it's a couple of
Right.
player props and stuff like that.
Right. Awesome stuff. And you can find Pavlos on stoppage time as well. Okay, brother, you got 2 bets for us. Teddy and I are not going to ask any follow-up questions. You got 1 bet on La Liga, Real Madrid game, and 1 bet on the EPL, the Liverpool game. Why don't you just go give out your bets? We will listen and learn.
Okay, so first match between Real Madrid and Getafe goes on Saturday. Now, this is a very peculiar match. Be careful with it because Real Madrid, they don't care about this match at all. They're out of the title chase in the La Liga, so they just won the Spanish Cup last week, so that was a big success. And right now, as we speak, they're in between their semifinals of the Champions League against Manchester City. Now, the first leg was on Tuesday. They had a 1-1 draw at home, and the second leg is at Manchester next Wednesday. So these midweek matches involving a team that's playing in the Champions League, especially this deep into the competition, they don't care about the weekend matches. And now they're hosting a side, Getafe, who are they're threatened by relegation because in soccer, the top teams they go on to play in the Champions League next season, but the 3 bottom teams, it's either 2, 3, or 4 bottom teams in every league, they get relegated. So Getafe are in a spot right now. They're sitting right there at the relegation spot, the relegation zone. So they need all the points they can get. So Getafe, they suffer a lot when they play against Real Madrid at home, on the road. They've won just one of the last 17 matches in the last 10 years. They've lost 15 times. And drew once. So, but whenever they lose, they don't lose by many goals. Actually, under 2.5 goals is 8-1 in the last 9 matches between the 2 sides, and that's where we're going with this one. Getafe are very smart team. They're not gonna open up. They're not gonna push a fast tempo in this match. They're gonna sit back.
Right.
Maybe if they can't find an opportunity, they can score a goal, and then they're gonna sit on that result. And Real Madrid, even if they do get first in the score sheet, they're not going to destroy Getafe. They're not going to spend any unnecessary resources a couple of days prior to the match of the season for them. So give me the under 2.5 goals at minus 110, and moving on to the next one.
Well, Pavlos, just keep moving on, brother. Keep going, man. You are rocking it out.
Okay, for my second play, this is an EPL play for Monday in a match between Leicester and Liverpool. Now, this is a very interesting match as well. It's a huge match, actually, on Monday, with 2 teams in the opposite sides of the league table. Now, Liverpool, they're sitting in the 5th spot, and they're looking to move up at least 1 spot because the top 4 spots in the EPL, they grant entrance to the Champions League next season, which is a huge deal for any club that's willing to participate. The money and the exposure is just massive. So Liverpool, they struggle all season, but right now they're in a very good streak. really good form, and they're looking to move up a spot. So they're just like 1 point behind Manchester United, so they need the win. So Leicester, they're in the opposite side of the league table, currently sitting inside the relegation zone, just 2 points behind Everton, 3 points behind Nottingham. So they're practically fighting for their lives right now. First of a 5-3 loss, which is a really bad loss for them. They've not get a single clean sheet in the EPL since 2022. And their defense has conceded 2+ goals on multiple occasions. And Liverpool, they might be coming off back-to-back wins with clean sheets, but their defense has been bad this season. So they've kept just 3 clean sheets in the last 11 matches and conceded multiple goals in 4 of those. And, both teams, they need the 3 points, each for their own reasons. And whenever we have a situation like this, you bet on goals, unless the profile of the 2 teams is a profile that tends, that goes to the under. And neither of these teams goes to the under. And especially when they meet against one another, there's usually fireworks, like 3-1, 3-2, 3-3 draws. There's an awful lot of goals. So in this situation, we're going to take a same game parlay. And again, this is not a scary word. If you go to DraftKings, they have ready-made same game parlays for you to just one-click it and then bet on it. So we're going to take the combo of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at minus 120. I think that's a very fair price.
Both teams to score and over 2.5 goals on Monday in the EPL. Pavlos, let's talk about the promo code that's available for all of the brand new 5 new cappers at WagerTalk. We've had all 5 of them on WagerTalk Today this week. You can use the promo code for any of them. Promo code WELCOME2023 at checkout. Again, WELCOME 2023, and take 50% off any package from any of the brand new handicappers over at wagertalk.com. Pavlos, what do you have to promote? What do you have going this weekend over at the website?
Okay, for tonight, I have a 4% best bet in the French League One. I've been blasting this League One, guys. A 9-1 run in 4% or higher so far in the season, so it's been going amazing. One of my most profitable leagues. 8-1 in 3% or higher since the move at WagerTalk. So I'm running really hot right now. I have this 4% best bet for tonight, and also a free play loaded for tonight. But my big play is tomorrow, guys, in the MLS. And I have a 5% in the MLS. I won my 5% on Tuesday with Real Madrid, won my 5% last week in the MLS with Philadelphia. I'm looking to keep the streak. Based on numbers alone, I'm number 2 at WagerTalk in 5% releases since June 2022. 66% win rate, 39-20 for 64.35 units of profit. So, it's been a blast. Clients have been sending me, messages throughout the season. I don't want to praise myself too much, but that's what the numbers say. And I do have a nice 5% banger MLS for tomorrow, Saturday.
Pavlos, man, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much. That's brilliant. Pat away, brother. Welcome to WagerTalk. We're lucky to have you, and we will get you on this show every now and again. Thank you for joining us. Teddy covers, we got to 111 likes. Let's do it, Dan. Okay, so it's time for your daily presidential address. Firstly, shout out to all the people who purchased my package yesterday at a 5% play up. It won Carolina. I know we needed overtime, but who cares? The bank doesn't need a reason why we're depositing money. Tonight, I have 1 NHL play, 1 NBA play, and 2 Major League Baseball plays. You get them over at WagerTalk for $19. Russell Deck, one of our listeners, says, Prez, please don't discuss the Leaf game in your daily presidential address. Well, too bad. 5-3, Leafs win. Not only am I discussing it, I'm giving you the score. I would play the Leafs on the money line for maybe 2%, the Leafs on the puck line for 2%, the Leafs in regulation, 2%, and the over, 2%. There's 4 plays for you right there. And you throw a little on the Leaf team. The Leafs tonight are going to score a lot of goals. This game is going to break out. This Florida team, 21st in the league defensively all season long. They've played out of their mind defensively in the last 4 games, especially their forecheck. The Leafs are going to break out tonight. I'm not saying they're winning the whole series, don't get me wrong, but the Leafs are breaking out tonight. 5-3 scored. Teddy covers. What do you have for our listeners?
Who's the hottest team in baseball right now? All right. You literally could ask people that question. I don't think one person would get it right. Colorado Rockies are the hottest team in baseball. 8-2 their last 10 ball games. Austin Gomber got lit up each of his first 4 starts. His last 3 starts have been gem, and gem. Gomber's season-long stats are lying. The Rockies' season-long stats are lying. Colorado still available at a plus price at home against Philadelphia tonight. Give me the Rockies. Thank you, Lawrence. Back to you.
My pleasure, brother. Take the under in the Lakers game. What a great week, Daniel. We love you. Great job, Teddy. Take us home.
Sure. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again on Monday, right here. Same time, same channel. 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. Enjoy the games and best of luck all weekend long.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.